everyone. Welcome back to True Crime Tuesday. Most of you guys had asked me to do a crime story on a killer clown. I dug up some information, therefore, of a terrible criminal, a serial killer by the name of John Wayne Gacy Jr., who called himself Pogo the Clown. Have a look. John Jr. was born on March 17, 1942, the middle and the only boy of 3 children. And like most serial killers, Gacy had a very sad and troubled childhood. His father, John Wayne Gacy Sr., a World War I veteran and auto repair machinist, was an alcoholic and an abusive and heinously vicious man. He beat up his wife and his daughters regularly. When he beat up John Jr., he used a razor strap, and the young kid would not cry even if the beatings were as savage as they could ever get. This infuriated the abusive, demented, alcoholic father who beat the young child until he fell unconscious. Also, Gacy Jr. was taunted by his father, who called him sissy and gay. Gacy liked to spend time with his sisters and mom, baking cookies and doing garden, and the brute of a father openly shamed him with name-calling and saying that the kid would grow up to be a sissy, a woman, a homosexual, and so on. Although all this unbelievable abuse was going on, John Jr. craved for his father's approval. The kid was also diagnosed with ADD, attention deficit disorder, and did not do well at school. The pictures from his earlier days as a kid shows a normal little boy. Here we go. At the age of 7, young Gacy was molested by a family friend, and he felt so confused, afraid, and embarrassed by this event that he kept it to himself. Of course, his insensitive and fiendish father would have blamed Gacy for this too and labeled him as being girly, weakly, queer, and all sorts of horrid things. Gacy soon began suffering from blackouts and would end up in the hospital regularly, and his father would often see this also as a weakness and would berate the young boy that he was faking illness, yearning for sympathy. The relentless torture by his father made Gacy grow up with anger and hatred towards the world. As a very troubled and miserable teenager, young Gacy was developing sexual fetishes and was caught with a brown paper bag in his closet that contained a pair of silk panties. Let's fast forward a little now. Gacy got work in Las Vegas as a mortuary assistant, and he had revealed how once he went into the embalming room and got beside a male corpse and fondled it. Gacy was now taking his dangerous and sick sexual desires to a whole new level. Gacy started regularly performing at children's hospitals and charitable events as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown, personas he had devised. He wanted to be noticed, to be valued. However, there was more. He was molesting young boys. Gacy was caught and was arrested finally for molesting a young child after forcing the kid to consume a large amount of alcohol. He was out of prison after a 10-year stint, and by 1972, Gacy had become a regular sex offender. He bumped up his sadistic, maniacal desire for seeking thrill to murder as he ran through a killing mania from 1976 to 1978. The police dug up bodies buried under the crawl space of his apartment. And how many bodies were there? 29 bodies, all teenage boys. Take a look. Arrested and charged with serial murders, Gacy was executed by lethal injection on May 9, 1994. There is information that says his execution was not a simple one. The fluid that was injected was unexpectedly solidified, so his execution was delayed, then opened again. According to the research I did, I read that his entire execution took about 18 minutes. One of the prosecutors stated that he had a much easier death than all of his victims. Remember, guys, 33 victims that were actually counted. How many did he actually kill? We may never know. The prosecutor from his trial mentioned that Gacy had torn off the faces from the victims' photos. He had so much anger towards his victims, so much contempt for his victims. Remorse? Oh no. It was recorded that Gacy's last words were, "Kiss my ass." That's all for tonight. Thank you. See you again. Bye. Hey guys, check out the group True Crime Stories on Facebook. Link in description. Thank you.